Downsides to inheriting. Hi, this is Kurt Lindsley with Alabama Inherited Homes, and today we're going to talk about downsides to inheriting. Because yes, there can be some potential downsides that are helpful to be aware of. The thought of a parent bequeathing their home to their adult children when they pass away, well, that seems logical, doesn't it? I mean, for most of us, we could consider that a pretty normal decision and what we might typically expect to happen. But sometimes with that come complications for the heirs that they'll have to work through to successfully and profitably sell an inherited property. For example, sometimes a house is not inherited by just one child. There may be other children of the same parents, each inheriting their own stake in the house. But what happens when all the siblings are not all on the same page? One might want to sell, while another may want to keep the property in the family. And the bottom line is these disagreements can ultimately lead to family discord, unfortunately. Selling an inherited house is not the same as other real estate transactions. When there is more than one owner, conflicts can arise over pricing and marketing strategy for the home, even if there is agreement to sell the property. Often the sellers not only have to deal with the sale of the house, but doing so while they're also mourning the loved one who has passed, and at the same time trying to figure out how to handle the estate. A lot of things on their plate. It's not easy. And it takes time to make the practical, objective decisions that are needed in going through this. Now, that being said, it still can be wise to make a quick decision on estate property early because of the carrying costs. Maintenance costs, taxes, vacant home insurance if the house is unoccupied, all of these costs continue to add up and will require financial endurance until the will is probated and the executor is named. Retaining a lawyer familiar with real estate law and estates in general can help a great deal in potentially avoiding costly mistakes that can happen without their counsel. Oftentimes, inherited homes have been lived in a long time, and maintenance may have been neglected. Updates will likely be required prior to marketing. Now, let's be honest. It can make things challenging when heating, plumbing, septic systems, and carpet need updating. Heirs may find themselves having to sell a home at a much lower price to compensate for maintenance issues or concerns. Hiring an inspector to recommend repairs before selling the house can be very helpful, especially when heirs live far from the inherited home. Now, here's a caution. You may find the cost of repairs adds up to an inordinate amount of money. And the problem is that can have a major effect on trying to sell a home. Sellers may try to hike up the sales price of a home to compensate for the cost of repairs that they put into it, ironically making the sale of the home difficult. An overpriced home is typically going to sit on the market, extending the holding costs for the seller. And even then, the pricing may very well need to come down to be able to eventually sell the home. Sometimes even well-kept homes are filled with a lifetime of belongings. In such cases, the heir to the house will have to make repairs, clean out the late person's belongings, and make necessary updates, and then stage the home to market it. Clearing and cleaning out houses involves many stages and processes and may take days or longer if the heirs are separated by distance from the home or from one another. After important papers, documents, expensive items, heirlooms have been removed, an auction service or consignment shop can be contacted for sale of the valuable items at fees that average around 25 to 30% of the sales price. Items not sold can be given away or donated to charity. And of course, items of no importance or minimal value that are left in the house can be hauled out by a cleaning company. Pricing depends on the contents of the house or the size of the items being hauled away. Now, heirs who live outside the area will need to rely heavily on the help of real estate agents for regular supervision of ongoing activities in their absence. It can get complicated when there are two or more siblings who inherit a home because each will likely have a different opinion on the price the property should be sold for. Also, multiple heirs will have differing opinions on the inspection of the home and the type of attorney needed, because each sibling will have different values, financial and emotional, in mind. It's the executor who makes the final determination. It's when the executor is also a sibling that those determinations can lead to arguments and a breakdown in family relations. So be cautious. And remember, for tax considerations, the tax basis of the inheritance is the value of the home on the day the owner of the willed property died. The difference between the home's value and the amount received after the sale of the property is the gain on which taxes are owed. Where more than one sibling inherits the home, the gain is divided equally and each heir will claim their share of both money and taxes. If the property sells for less than its assessed value, then there will be no gain to be reported. In our next video, we're going to explore how selling a house in an estate differs from regular home sales. And I want to give you a free copy of my book, Guide to Selling Your Inherited House. Here's a copy of it right here. This is available in an ebook format that's very convenient. You could read it at your leisure, right off your phone or computer. So just click the link below for immediate access to your copy. This is Kurt Lindsley with Alabama Inherited Homes. I'll see you next time.